Good morning, my friends. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa, and wow, what a change in the weather. A whole lot of wind to talk about. We've got cold to talk about. We've got snow to talk about. So let's get to it. And if you have any questions or if you're doing any traveling, just let me know and I'll try to answer it for you. As far as rainfall and precipitation goes, just about over with. The rain, this is the cold front, has moved to the southeast. Maybe a few light showers and thumbs still. And in the UP, this is the snow starting up. The Weather Service in Marquette reports that accumulating snow is just starting to begin. Good morning, Andrew Dodson and Rebecca Vargas. Okay, warnings and watches and advisories in effect. The Brown area, this is a wind advisory in effect. Most areas until midnight tonight. We've had already 45 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts pretty much everywhere. Good morning, Lansing, Sylvia. We've had some 50 to 55 mile an hour wind gusts right along the shoreline. Petoskey, 60 miles an hour. Muskegon and down in this area, 56 miles an hour. And Saginaw, a 56 mile an hour wind gust at 4 this morning. Now, I think the highest, the 50 mile an hour wind gusts are probably over with, but off and on 40 to 45 mile an hour wind gusts possible all day long. Janelle says, wind bad here, Midland, power out, siding off. Wow, okay, that's pretty serious there. And like I said, the MBS airport in Saginaw, between Saginaw Bay City and Midland, for those of you who don't know, reported a 56 mile an hour wind gust at 4 something this morning. So, wind advisory in effect, winter storm warning, Kalkaska, Otsego, Charlevoix, Emmett, Sheboygan counties, winter weather advisories in these regions, and winter storm warning in effect for the Keweenaw Peninsula. Here's the radar forecast for today, and precipitation is really not a big problem for most of the area today. We're going to be kind of what I call in the dry slot. The exception is we are going to start to see some of the lake effect snow developing, and you can get a feel for the wind direction. It's a southwest wind, which really doesn't do a whole lot except up in here, and that's why the winter storm warning is in effect for around east of Petoskey and that section right there. So if you're planning on driving north across the bridge, you will hit it at some point. We're at 5 o'clock this evening, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10, and 11, and the bands start to get somewhat oriented. So I think today is kind of just a off and on snow up in the north and quiet in the south, still decent traveling except for the strong winds. If you have one of those high profile vehicles, that will really throw it around. How much snow? This is what the National Weather Service says through tonight. So, by tomorrow morning. And this is a 6 to 8 inch and an 8 to 12 inch area of snow east of Petoskey up in there. You can see Gaylord just on the fringes of it. Traverse City light, maybe an inch or so on this kind of flow at best, at most I should say. And then the tip of the mitt is where you'd have the heaviest snow for tonight. Here is the storm system. Let's walk you through what's going on here in the next 10 days. I'll help you pick out things. Florida, Texas, California, Michigan. Got your orientation out there. Iowa kind of sticks out. Hudson Bay, strong low pressure system. This is right now, and that's why we've had the change in weather, because of this big circulating low pressure system. But what I want to show you is the cold is not going to let up. We're into Friday there. Northwesterly winds, your typical lake effect snow spots. And let's go into the weekend. And everything now is kind of advertising another front, cold front coming down through the area. And when we get these cold fronts over the Great Lakes, at this time of the year when the lakes are real warm, they can develop these small-scale, low-pressure systems and circulations, and it can kind of goof up the forecast because sometimes it takes a wind that was supposed to be northwest off the lake and turn it southeast for a little while. We're into Sunday, but watch an Alberta Clipper track really develop. Here's one, late Sunday. And this is the one that I think has the Arctic front with it right here. This is Monday morning, okay? And this is much colder air here, about 10 degrees colder than what we have now. Highs in the teens and low 20s. And then we're going to go into Tuesday, and the Arctic front, maybe a reinforcing shot coming through. Look at that. And you can't say that we're going to have any warm weather because here's the high pressure out here. Clockwise flow around it. Our wind is straight out of the north across the eastern half of the country. We are out to Wednesday now. And you could really start to see the Alberta Clipper track developing when we get into this. Let's see, where are we at? We are at Wednesday into Thursday. Here's another one of these, and they're going to ride southeast, and this is 10 days out. I really wouldn't believe it, but it brings a developed Alberta Clipper into the Great Lakes. But the point being is we're going to see this track, and that keeps the cold air firmly over our area, and it keeps us into generally lake effect snow. I thought I'd show you this. This is the next 7 days. What the U.S. model called the GFS, Global Forecast System, forecast for the next 7 days. Now, bear in mind, in lake effect, there's isolated spots that go double of this, but this would be, I think, a good way to look at the general snowfall. And folks in the east and southeast, 1 or 2 inches. Over in the southwest, 2 to 5, but again, you're going to have a couple of pockets in there that are over 5, and you get up into the northwest, and it's 4 to 9 inches, but again, there will be pockets up to double that, up to 18, and then you get into the UP and 6 to 12 inches, and there will be a couple of 2-foot spots. That's for total snowfall over the next 10 days. You know, you'll have a shot of 2 to 4 inches in lake effect snow belts, and then another couple of inches, another couple of inches. So it'll kind of just all add up. The point being is winter is here. Hope you have everything ready for that. Hope you enjoyed the warm weather. And if you have some running to do or you want dry roads, today is fine. Southeast Michigan, we're fine probably for several days outside of an isolated snow band that makes it over this way. And that's where we have to watch for that new warning that's going to be issued. Remember, it's called a snow squall warning, and they'll issue a snow squall warning for something like that, where one of those bands comes across I-69 or I-94 and surprises people because they've been mostly driving in totally dry roads, and then they hit a couple of mile-wide band of heavy snow. So watch for that warning. Hopefully they broadcast that on the radio when you're in the car. We'll have to see. That's about it. We'll talk to you tomorrow. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Have a good day. Try to stay warmer.